Hello students. So we have done with the chapter 1. So we shall be starting with the chapter 2, methods of study in psychology. So yes, I think we have 5 methods, or I think 5 or 6 methods in this chapter. So we shall be dealing with each method. Okay, so now we shall start with the goals of psychological inquiry. Okay, so it is just a info, or introduction to this field of methods of psychology. So goals are very important. It is not you just need to know the main points. Okay, so we shall start with that. Like any scientific research, psychological inquiry has the following goals: description, prediction, explanation, and control of behavior, and application of knowledge so generated in an objective manner. Let us try to understand the meaning of this term. So, there are 4 goals, that is, description, prediction, explanation, and control, that is 1, and application, that is 4th one. Okay, so description. What is description? So, when you are undergoing or researching about something, when there is a psychological inquiry being done, what are the things you observe? So that is what are the things you do, that talks about goals of psychology. Okay, so the first goal of psychology is description. So what is description? In a psychological study, we attempt to describe a behavior or a phenomena as accurately as possible. This helps in distinguishing a particular behavior from others' behavior. So, description. So, when you are conducting or when you are doing a psychological study, it is very possible that you describe a person, a behavior, his personality, the way he acts. So, you almost describe the behavior of the person. Okay, and description helps us to distinguish between one person's behavior and other person's behavior. Okay, so that is about description. For instance, okay, the researcher may be interested in observing study habits among students. Study habits may consist of diverse range of behaviors, such as attending all the classes regularly, submitting assignments on time, planning the study schedule, studying according to the set schedule, revising the work on the daily basis. Okay, so here what happens? Here they have given us an example where uh, there is, the researcher can conduct experiment or psychological study on student, and students where all the students will not be same. Okay, every student's behavior is very different from other students' behavior. Okay, some students will be very particular about studies, very good at studies, they follow the timetable. Okay, and they attend the classes regularly, they submit assignments, and they're very much active in class. Okay, but whereas there are other students who doesn't attend the class regularly, doesn't submit assignments on time. Okay, and who doesn't follow everyday reading schedule, and who reads the last day of the one day before the exam. So yes, this is how the behavior is tested, the distinguish between the one person's behavior and the other person's behavior is tested in a psychological study, and that is what description talks about. Okay, so the next one, prediction. Okay, the second goal of scientific inquiry is prediction of behavior, such as on the basis of study a researcher is able to establish a positive relationship between the amount of study time and achievement in different subjects. Later, if we come to know that a particular child devotes more time for study, we can predict that the child is likely to get good marks in examination. So prediction. So how do you predict? So when the psychological study is conducted on a students, and you will know that when the person who studies every day, who attends the class regularly, and who focus on the class, who pays attention in the class, and who listens to the teacher, have notes, and revise it very regularly, those people, and the people who spend a particular time, a scheduled time for reading, okay, every day, so those people, yes, they will achieve very good, and they will get good marks in examination, okay. And people who study in the last moment, they pass but they can't get good marks, okay. So that is what it the prediction talks about. The third one, explanation. The third goal of psychological inquiry is to know the causal factors or determinants of behavior. Psychologists are primarily interested in knowing the factors that make behavior occur. Also, what are the conditions under which a particular behavior does not occur. For example, what makes some children more attentive in the class, why some children devote less time for study as compared to others. So, thus, this goal is concerned with identifying the determinants or antecedent conditions, that is, conditions that led to a particular behavior of the behavior being studied. So, explanation talks about how it explains why the behaviors are very different from one student to another. One student is very much attentive, where one student spend very less time for studies. Why it is so? So explanation goal explains you why that happens. Okay. Okay. So that is what. So when you focus more, you will get good marks. When you focus less, you will just pass or be an average student, okay. So this explanation shows you why there is a difference in behavior of students among students, okay. So control refers to three things, okay. Making a particular behavior happen, reducing it, or enhancing it. For example, we can allow the number of hours devoted to study to be the same, or we can reduce them, or there may be an increase in the study hours. The change brought about in the behavior by psychological treatment in terms of therapy in persons is a good example of control. Teacher controlling the classroom, parents controlling the children, to exhibit good behavior, okay. So controlling, so when you know that you are not good at studies, you're not able to get good marks, you need to focus, you need to spend extra time for reading and writing, you need to practice, okay. So that is where you control things and you become a good person, okay. So that is what here control is trying to tell us. So when you want to achieve something, you need to spend more time towards that, okay. So application. The final goal of the scientific inquiry is to bring out positive changes in the lives of people. Psychological research is conducted to solve problems in various settings. Because of these efforts, the quality of life of the people is a major concern of psychologists. For example, application of yoga and meditation helps to reduce stress and increase efficiency. Scientific inquiry is also conducted to develop new theories or constructs, which leads to further research. So yes, application is where, after knowing the description of the behavior and the prediction of the behavior and why it is so, that explanation of the behavior, and then so you need to do something. So after knowing that this is your problem, you need to do something to overcome that problem, okay. So for example here, yes, they have given example of yoga and meditation. So to concentrate on things, yoga and meditation will help you. So that is what it is trying to tell, okay. So this is the fourth goal. So yeah, steps in conducting scientific research. Science is defined by how it investigates. The scientific method attempts to study a particular event or phenomena in an objective, systematic, and testable manner. The objectivity refers to the fact that if two or more persons independently study a particular event, both of them to the great extent should arrive at the same conclusion. So yes, scientific research will be done in all the settings, in many settings, and for example, if two students are given a particular test, they have, or particular situation, they have to come to a particular conclusion, a same conclusion, okay. So if they don't arrive at the same conclusion, they are very different from each other. Okay, so the second characteristics of scientific research is that follows systematic procedure or steps of investigation. It includes the following steps: conceptualization of problem. So what is the problem? Collection of the data, why the problem has occurred. Drawing conclusion, so you can have an idea or create an idea to overcome that particular problem. And revising research conclusions and theory. Okay, so revising whatever you have studied. Okay, so here you can see the image. The first, conceptualizing a problem, selecting a topic for study. Second thing, collecting data, participants, methods, tools, and procedure. So how the scientific method or scientific research is conducted. Okay, so this is how it is conducted. And the third one is drawing conclusion using statistical methods. So after conducting tests on certain people, certain group of students. Okay, revising research conclusion, restating existing hypothesis, formulating revised or new theory. So this is the method or